Alright guys, back again. Part 2 low restricted air cleaner assembly, whatever you want to call it. Not cold air. And I want you to use the factory bolts, which are fine. Nothing wrong with that. But nothing ever lines up. Again, it's from China. Those little Chinese are laughing their butt off every time we buy something from them. Oh, look at them. Good luck putting that in and making it work. I'll show you kind of the difference. On that last video, the last thing I'll show you there was where it draws, the factory box draws its air at. Really? Yeah. I dropped the bolt a minute ago. Ah, there it is. I bet that one will work better. When I get this tight, I'll show you. You might be asking yourself, alright, you've done this, you're doing this fuel mileage, why? Well, for number one is, I run non-alcohol gas in everything I have. And as of right now, I can still get that readily in town. This is Kansas. They don't care about some of that stuff as much as other states, cities, towns, counties, whatever. So at this point, everything I possess is running non-alcohol gas, which I've discussed that with you before. A lot of people will sit there and say, I don't notice a difference, I didn't see this, I didn't think it made any difference. It will in a lot of ways. One is alcohol burns hotter, so it burns faster. So that means you're actually using more fuel. You may not notice it a lot, and some cars are more designed to operate than on that stuff than others. This was never made to run off E85 or even 10%. It was not designed to run off 10%. You can run 10% on it, but it was not really designed for that. What I mean by that is it has a plastic fuel tank instead of steel. You get this old stuff. Now this happens to have aluminum. The old 52's got an aluminum fuel tank in it. Aluminum it is not any better than steel when it comes to a rubber. Alcohol is not good on most of that stuff. But anyway, we'll get into this part of it here real quick. Let me show you this. I put the camera back down. Okay, this is this thing I just put in, bolted here, here, and right here. And as you notice, now look at that gaping hole. And that's a pretty good size hole. I don't know if the camera's picking it all up. So as you're moving down the road, it does pick up a lot more air out of there. So definitely, you get less restrictive airflow. It's actually, better that way, I guess, whatever you want to say. I'll move you a little closer if you want. You're not really going to see a whole lot. That's a problem with doing these, is you're not really seeing anything. I can mount the camera up on the hood, I guess, and hang it, but just sit there and swing, because the air conditioner's right here. It's actually blowing across this, so just swing around. All right, now, am I expecting huge gains on this? I really don't know, because again, every time I've ever done what I consider a low restricted air, whatever you want to call it, every time I've ever done that, I've never really noticed because I've done so much stuff at the same time. And so this actually kind of goes across the top, I believe. I really don't remember how this seals up. I think one of them goes down that side. Again, I don't have much. The instructions are probably vague again on this. They really don't care. It's really vague. I don't even know if you can pull a 90-degree turn out of some of this stuff. I'm just not sure. I'll probably leave this off. I'm just seeing where it goes. I think this one, I think maybe, they're basically the same length. And I have a piece of steel in my finger, that's for sure. Oh yeah. Ah. I don't see it, but I sure feel it. But I'm sure one goes here. May have to cut these. Good luck, because there's, like I said, this is really, really vague. There's probably other videos out there of people showing you exactly how to do this and how it worked best for them or whatever. Okay, like I said, I don't know as far as what I'm going to get out of the fuel mileage gain or power, really. I mean, the box might say, or the ad on eBay or wherever you buy your stuff from, you know, it may actually say, oh, it's a, you know, it's a 15, 20% gain or horsepower gain, or, you know, whatever. And maybe not, you know what I mean? I don't really know. I could probably try to calculate it after wiring that piece of steel out of there, everything I touch. Ow! Let me look at something specific here. And I'm not saying it. I'm hoping, though, that if things go the way I'm hoping, I'm actually hoping to find, I don't know if these scissors will cut that or not. Well, look at that, sort of. I'm hoping for a 1 mile per gallon change. I'm hoping for that. Whether I'm going to get that or not, I don't know. So it's actually got metal in it. I may have to actually run a self-tapper in there. Oh, that's got ugly sticking out of it too. Already got a piece of steel sticking out of one finger. I'm probably doing this all wrong, guys. Don't follow my lead on this. I don't really know if I'm doing it right or not. I'm hoping for 1 mile per gallon change. I really doubt it. I may not notice anything, and that really isn't going to go anywhere else. I'm not even going to try to put the other little piece in there. Like I said, I really do not know what to expect. So I'm not even going to venture another guess. I'm just going to say I'm hoping for 1 mile per gallon. That is my ultimate goal. If it gets better than that, great. If it gets less than that, well, disappointing maybe, but I think in the end, with the little bit of horsepower increase, and honestly, put that on there backwards. Wow. You know, I'm really hoping with the horsepower increase and the I'm still hoping for fuel mileage too. I honestly am. I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't think. I mean, everybody can put these in there. Oh, look how pretty that looks. Well, great, you know. But that's well, I dropped it. Trying to pick up one thing, I dropped something else. And one thing I did find on my pickup was that this thing kept coming loose where it hooked up, and what I ended up doing was I took this out. You may have to do that on some of yours. I actually took a piece of I don't remember if it's steel or aluminum, and 90-degree bent it, and actually used a self-tapper and ran in right here, and then screwed it actually into the steel on the fender, and that actually stopped it from falling off. It's not hard to tell. Just take that one self-tapper out and the thing straightens itself right up. So if this starts causing a problem, now see it come loose. That's the only one I had to do that. The Suburban never did it, and then Malibu's not done it, but for some reason this thing did. So okay, I dropped it on the ground, scuffed it all up, and of course I scuffed it on the side you get to see. There's nothing better than that. I know I'm gonna have to pull some of this back apart again. I'm trying to get my angles down right here just to see. I know that goes down and hooks to that. Don't forget your clamps. I got a hose here in the way too, which isn't helping anything. I don't really want to take it off. It's actually the return off the radiator. You can do it without having to take it off. Get this thing out of the way for a minute. So now everything is messing around here. Really? Wow. Alright. Yes, I talk to myself when I do stuff like this. No, I don't know why. Come on. Come on. Yeah, I must have bent the crap out of that thing when it fell. Hang on, I got to modify this thing because I modified it a minute ago. So. Oh boy, all done. Normally these aren't that difficult to get in. I'm kind of fighting it. Again, I usually do this without anything, everything's kind of out of the way. And with the Suburban it was easy because it didn't, like I said, I got the shroud wasn't here. So it makes it a lot easier to work on when there's not this big old plastic shroud in the way. I want to tighten this clamp up some. I know I'm going to have to probably loosen it and make some adjustments. But I cannot make that thing stay tight. I'm stepping on the camera. Let's see what size. I think these are 8s. Something I'm going to have to look into. This alternator. I'm getting a lot of just every once in a while. It doesn't do it all the time. But you'll be driving down the road and all of a sudden you're getting severe alternator noise through the radio. And it could be the radio, but I don't think so. And I don't know if there's use a type of filter or if the alternator, which is it's a Delphi, but it's a reman, I'm sure. It says triple tested, called tech support. And it's one from it's one of the cheaper value craft or whatever you want to call it from AutoZone. I did not put it on. It was on this vehicle when I bought it. So. That's a little snugger than it was. This will hopefully allow me to move some stuff around. This thing, these have always kind of fought me a bit. And you got to watch this hose here. That little hose goes into a holder. I know you probably can't see it. Let me pull it off here. This goes around. It's actually broke. That little hose, it's a steam vent hose, whatever you want to call it. It actually cradles in this. If you have to take this off, which it looks like I'm going to have to do, or move it aside where it's not going to be functional anymore, zip tie this little hose to the main top radiator hose, because if you route it wrong or it gets on the other side of this hose for some reason, you're not paying attention, it will get into the fan. I know this from experience, and it actually was not me, but it was somebody I know, and it left them stranded. And yeah, so just be prepared to that. Alright, now, gotta put this, again, anyway, I'm probably gonna have to take this loose. That goes on. It's a little bit bigger hose clamp. That can actually be tightened now because it's not gonna change, I don't think. I say that. That's what I probably should have done, was rev the engine up with the air cleaner original on, lets you hear what it sounds like before and after. You can hear the difference in air movement. Now, what the big clamp is for, because even though this was put together, it's actually not clamped. This actually goes here. This was put together. I did not put this together. And this is where my truck one kept falling apart, because the harder I squeezed this, the more it was trying to push that plastic out. There's probably other ways to do it, whether it be silicone, possibly would work. If not, you might be able to take that piece of plastic and actually scuff it up with some like 80 grit sandpaper. Maybe the rubber would grab to it harder. There's probably other ways to do it. Obviously don't JB weld it, but because you do have to take this apart and clean this air cleaner and oil it. Basically treat it like a K&N, which is what I buy because that's the only stuff they really sell, well, at least local here in my little town, is the K&N stuff, the cleaner and the oil, which works fine. So this is, like I said, this is the one that kept separating on me, and so make sure it's on there as square as you possibly can get it. It's actually on there kind of snug. But because I had problems with the truck, I imagine I'll have trouble with this one too. Don't know. Maybe. Don't forget this one. Now there's actually a mount that goes here, and I can already tell you that it is way off. Whether it got bent or whether it got welded in the wrong place. I can already see this one is actually cheaper than the ones I bought before, because I'm telling you as I'm standing here, there is nothing that's going on here the way it did on the other ones. Your mass air, I've had people tell me this part needs to be straight up and down, or the fitting, or the, you know, your wire, for obvious reasons. Make sure you plug it in first, and then make sure you have it. Don't get this thing, you know, bound up. So it looks like this thing is sitting where it belongs, but boy, it's not near as pretty as some of the ones I've done. I bought the black instead of the red or blue because I thought it would just look a little less congested and a little less like something had been done to it. I mean, obviously, when you open it up, it's pretty obvious. You see that big chrome aluminum piece sticking up out of there. Black looks to me a little bit better than the blue and red ended up doing. Thing's fighting. Make sure everything is in. Again, just like the rest, make sure it's in there square. It's making good contact. It's even all the way around. You don't want this thing to come apart when you're driving down the road. I don't think it's big enough to fit and fall completely out of the vehicle because of my driving lights, and I think there's a horn down there. But I found mine in my pickup laying down there once or twice before I modified it to where it wouldn't do that again. And don't forget to tighten the one that was already on the hose. The hose clamp was already on the one for the other end of your mass air. Just back over. Like I said, whether this stays on here right or not, I don't know. It's been a while. Don't like that, but it's not going to hurt anything. You can route that around, but I didn't want to bind that wire. Alright, see if I can get this one up where I can get to it. Like I said, I know there's other videos of people putting them on. There's different brands or different kinds. They're all a bit different, so keep that in mind when you buy one. Boy, I over-tightened that one a bit. These junk, I've had to actually go buy better hose clamps. These things are something to behold, let me tell you. You know what? I put this on here and forgot to change that stupid belt. That's going to be fun. All right, everything's pretty tight. So I still may have to make some type of a mount or modify the mount that's already there, because that's I mean, this thing's several inches away. It's supposed to be that far away, like inch and a half, and it's like 3. And there's no bending it to make it work. So I may have to do something different there. But well, let's give her a little start up. I can hear it more. But like I said, only time will actually tell if it's done any good. So I heard that belt definitely still chirping, so I'm going to go ahead and change that belt. I could show you how to do that, but you're not going to see anything. Even if I put the camera up here looking down, it's very difficult to see and do. There's probably a lot of videos on how to do that. I wish now I could take this back off and make it a little easier to get to, and if it looks like it's going to fight me, I may end up doing that. Now I did check the fan prior to starting. I've got about 2 inches of space between the fan and that rubber. As you can see, like I told you, if you turn this around, if you turn this 90 around, it'll push this out further, and it's already almost up against that. So if you turn it around, it would be up against it. So that plastic deal I was telling you is supposed to go here, and I might have to bend that and then put that back on and then put this back up in there where it belongs. Otherwise I'm going to zip tie that on there, and I'm going to have to make some type of a mount, so because this thing will vibrate and get loose. The mount itself, it's probably going to be hard to see. It's actually on is it touching that hose? Yeah, it sort of is. Don't like that at all. See if I can, am I even seeing it down there? Oh yeah, there it is. I know you can see my finger barely moving around, but I can't get my finger in there. Right there though, where that finger sticking out is where that rubber is supposed to go, and it's supposed to meet with this. Am I gonna get it? This thing right here, but it's like 3 inches away. So that's not gonna cut it. But anyway, as you can see, like I said, you get a lot more air to it. It's not cold air by any means. It is somewhat separated. I think you're supposed to wrap that rubber deal around that deal, but I don't want to mess with that. It's, if anything, I can always get a piece of foam or something different to put around there. There's always different things you can use to help seal the engine heat away. To me, again, you're talking something that is going to probably give you a little bit more power. You possibly could feel it. I think the sound that comes out of it when you're under acceleration makes you feel like you've got more power. Whether or not you actually do or not, I'm not sure. But I'm hoping for at least, like I said, 1 mile per gallon fuel mileage. Now I have to make sure it's not going to rain before I go, and then we'll, I'll do another mileage running, and I'll keep you posted on that. So anyway, there you go, guys. See you next time.